Jason Statham isn't just an action star. He's a man who lived every fight he ever filmed. From the cold, rain-soaked streets of Shirebrook to the roaring chaos of Hollywood sets, his journey was carved through pain, hunger, and raw determination. Every punch thrown, every explosion survived, carries a piece of his real struggle. But now, at 58, behind that unshakable toughness lies a tragedy few could imagine. But what really happened to the man built from steel? Stay tuned. His story will break your heart. The world saw Jason Statham as unbreakable, a man of iron, fists forged for chaos, and eyes that never flinched. But behind the roar of engines and the precision of his stunts, there was a quieter story, one that Hollywood rarely cared to tell. The cameras captured his strength, not his solitude. The studios wanted explosions, not emotion. "You do one thing too well," he once said, half joking, "and they never let you do anything else." Beneath the humor lay exhaustion, the kind born not from failure, but from being trapped by success. Long before the billion-dollar franchises and the global fame, Jason was just another hustler from the rain-drenched streets of Shirebrook. His world was built on grit and survival, selling on street corners, diving for his country, chasing every dream that refused to stay still. Yet even when fame found him, the hunger never really left. After Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels made his name in 1998, the lights got brighter, but the nights grew darker. He walked alone after shoots, aching in silence, each muscle carrying the memory of stunts that nearly took his life. But not all of Jason's scars came from crashes or falls. Some came from love, from the kind of heartbreak that no training could fix. Before the headlines and action sets, there was Kelly. She was already known, her beauty the kind that made rooms turn and cameras linger. He was still fighting to be seen. Together, they built a small world of laughter and promises, cheap takeouts, cramped apartments, dreams too big for their walls. She teased him about his endless workouts. He swore one day it would all be worth it. And it was, for a time. Fame, however, changes everything. His days stretched into endless filming schedules. Her life spun faster under the glow of television lights. They tried to hold on, but distance is louder than words. Soon, smiles became polite, calls turned rare, and the silence between them began to echo. Then came the photographs. Kelly, arm in arm with actor Billy Zane. The headlines didn't just sting, they shattered. Jason didn't rage or seek revenge. He simply went quiet. He buried his heartbreak the only way he knew, through motion. More hours at the gym, longer takes on set, each bruise masking what couldn't be spoken. Friends noticed his absence. Interviews about love went unanswered. Years later, when asked about her, he simply said, "We were young. Life moves faster than people do." There was no bitterness, only a faint trace of gratitude, the kind that comes when pain has finally learned to sit still. She had loved him when he had nothing and left when he had everything. That was the cruel symmetry of his rise, proof that even the toughest men bleed, not from bullets or blows, but from memories that never truly fade. But when the past still lingered, could new love heal old wounds? By 2005, Jason Statham was 38, a man who had finally conquered the dream he once chased through London's rain-soaked streets. The Transporter and Crank had made him Hollywood's newest obsession, yet the applause that followed him from city to city began to sound hollow when the cameras stopped rolling. Fame filled the rooms, but not the spaces within. He often returned from premieres to quiet hotel walls that didn't know his name. A year after his breakup with Kelly Brook, Jason crossed paths with Sophie Monk, the wild, radiant Australian singer who seemed to arrive just when life had gone too still. She was 26, fearless, and refreshingly alive. She laughed loudly, teased him about his endless workouts, and had a spark that made his walls crumble, if only for a moment. "You're always fighting something," she once joked. He smiled and said, "That's how I stay ready." On lazy afternoons, she'd throw popcorn at him while old movies flickered in the background. For a while, Jason wasn't an action hero. He was simply a man rediscovering warmth. But love rarely survives the life of a man always on the move. Jason's career pulled him across continents, Morocco, France, Los Angeles, while Sophie's world thrived back in Australia. Distance stretched tighter with each flight, until words no longer reached across the miles. One evening in late 2006, they spoke for the last time, not in anger, but in silence. No argument, no ending, just the soft collapse of something beautiful. Later, when asked about her, Sophie said, "He was the hardest man to love, not because he didn't care, but because he carried everything inside." By 2007, another chapter began. Alex Zosman, a London model and designer who seemed to offer the calm Jason had long craved. She wasn't fame or fire, she was stillness. Their mornings smelled of coffee, their nights of peace. After years of chaos, she grounded him. He'd come home late, kiss her forehead, and whisper, "You make this world feel still." For the first time in years, he almost believed it. But peace rarely stays when the world demands movement. Between 2008 and 2009, Jason's schedule became brutal. The bank job, death race, Transporter 3. Cities blurred together. Time slipped through his hands. Alex tried to hold on, but love needs presence, not postcards. By 2010, they drifted apart quietly. No drama, just two souls on different tracks. Jason once said, "Everyone wanted the actor. No one saw the man." Those words carried the ache of being desired, yet unseen. The hotel lights dimmed, the applause faded, and only his breathing reminded him he was still here. Fame had given him everything, except stillness. Yet he endured, because that's what Jason Statham had always done. Keep moving, even through the quiet that follows the storm. But just when he thought stillness was enough, life had a new challenge in store. And even after enduring the fire and the silence, Jason Statham discovered that calm has its own battles. In 2010, at 43, he met Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, a 23-year-old model whose quiet confidence cut through the armor he had spent decades forging. She wasn't dazzled by fame. She was drawn to the stillness beneath his strength. "You don't talk much," she teased over wine one evening. He smiled, half amused, half wary. "I've said enough in bruises," he replied. From that moment, the chase ended, replaced by a slow, steady warmth that grew like dawn. Their early days were built from simple pleasures. Evening walks through Notting Hill, secret grocery runs, cooking pasta in the cramped kitchen of his London flat, laughter spilling over as music played softly. For the first time in years, Jason wasn't a stuntman, a star, or a symbol of survival. He was just a man breathing beside someone who made the world feel alive again. "You make me feel alive," he told her once, and she knew he meant it. By 2016, their love had endured distance, gossip, and the relentless demands of Hollywood. At 49 and 29, they became engaged under a soft Malibu sunset, their commitment understated, deliberate, a promise built on patience rather than spectacle. A year later, their son Jack Oscar was born, and for a moment, Jason felt the world slow. Cradling him, he marveled at the smallness of life, realizing the fight he never wanted to win was simply keeping this peace intact. Yet Fame's machine showed no mercy. Filming for Mechanic, Resurrection, and The Fate of the Furious pulled him across continents, leaving Rosie at home to balance motherhood and her own career. First steps, first words, birthdays celebrated via screen, moments he longed to hold but could not. She left handwritten notes in his suitcase. "Come home soon. We love you." Nights spent alone in hotel rooms reminded him that even love required patience he could rarely afford. In 2022, their daughter Isabella James arrived, a second heartbeat, a reminder of what truly mattered. Holding her, Jason understood that no premiere, paycheck, or stunt could ever match the gravity of home. By 2025, at 58, he and Rosie lived mostly in London, far from Hollywood's glare. Mornings smelled of pancakes and crayons. Evenings hummed with laughter instead of headlines. He no longer chased fame or posted updates. He protected the fragile world he had fought so long to build. But even peace carried its shadows. After a lifetime of storms, Jason Statham knows that love, like life itself, is delicate, and some battles are won only by guarding what matters most. But peace, as Jason was about to learn, never lasts forever. It only waits for the next storm. And even when life seemed to offer quiet, Jason Statham learned that peace comes with shadows. In 2011, on the set of The Expendables 2 in Bulgaria, A day that began like any other became unforgettable. Blue skies stretched over the mountains, cameras rolled, and laughter bounced between takes. Jason was rehearsing a chase by the lake alongside Kuan Lu, a 26-year-old stunt